Hey there, let's have a discussion, an open discussion about fibroids and how they affect your pregnancy and how they may even affect you not being able to get pregnant. I know that with me, it did play a huge role within my pregnancy, especially during the third trimester. But it did do something to me. It did affect me in a big way throughout my second trimester as well. You know, I did wake up one night during my second trimester and I went to the restroom. As soon as I finished doing my business, it took me literally 10 minutes to get back to the bed. I was in so much pain. I had no idea what was going on. I seriously thought I was going to die. And Damien was just knocked out completely. And I hunched over and pretty much had to crawl back to the bed. And our bed is like high up. So it took like an extra 6 to 8 minutes to even climb back into the bed. Lo and behold, it was my fibroid. So I was put on ibuprofen, 800 milligrams, which I felt like saved my life. It literally saved my life. Thank you, doctor such and such. But, you know, back in 2014, I went to my VA healthcare provider, you know, just to get my regular checkup, which women should. That's a whole different discussion. But I found out that I had a fibroid. It was the size of a grape. And it was inside of my uterus. And my doctor back then told me, you know, as long as you stay on your birth control pills, it should pretty much not cause it to grow. So that's what I did. I stayed on my birth control pills. I had the flawless skin. I didn't have to worry about anything extra. But she told me as soon as you want to have kids, you come off of it because it's going to take at least a year for that medicine to come completely out of your system. So I just went on about my life. And then as soon as I got pregnant, I did another exam, and guess what? Because I had been off of my birth control pills, the fibroid did grow. It grew to the size of a walnut. But now this time, I'm being told it's hanging on a stalk. A stalk. I'll add some pictures. Then, once we're in the second trimester, and I told you about that scary night, guess what? It grew again. And it did continue to grow throughout the pregnancy. When they did remove the fibroid during my cesarean, yes, they did remove it. It was the size of a golf. No. It was the size of a tennis ball. So she was in there with that the entire time. She was laying on it as if it was like a pillow. I didn't really have any other pain throughout the pregnancy from the fibroid. You know, it was just like that one time. Oh, excuse you. It was just that one time throughout my second trimester where I was just hunched over like an old woman. I couldn't even stand up straight. Like I literally walked really slow and just hunched over for weeks. But yeah, so I had asked, you know, my doctors, plural, about, you know, what if I do get a cesarean and could you all like just cut it out? And they all said no, you know, I could bleed out because it's wrapped around blood vessels. But I had to end up getting an emergency C-section because My blood pressure was rising, hers was lowering, and after 12 hours of labor, my cervix just was still at 1 centimeter. It was not opening up for anything. And when you go back and look at pictures throughout my pregnancy, towards the end, you know, the bulging part near my pelvic bone, which I thought was her head, because you know the baby does turn and it, you know, your belly does drop. My belly never dropped, and it couldn't drop. You know why? Because that fibroid was blocking her way out. So of course they had to go in, cut her out, and the doctor after the procedure said, you know what, I gave you something, a little something, just so you wouldn't have anything extra to worry about. I went ahead and took that fibroid. Yes, they did their testing, nothing to worry about. Yay. As far as it growing back, there are possibilities of fibroids growing back. Hopefully it doesn't, but you know, I don't know, we'll see. But fibroids, yeah. So let's have an open discussion about it. You know, do you know anybody who has been affected by fibroids? Have you been affected by fibroids? Tell me your story.